Okay, welcome to all new attendees that have just joined, and welcome also to this Thursday live session. We're going to get started and create some products together. Let's start this live session with the basics. What is Customily? Most of you installed the app quite recently and are either getting started with your store from scratch or beginning the process of selling personalizable products on an existing store. For both cases, we have the perfect tools to get started. So, Customily is an app that installs in your store and provides you with live previews of products, along with the options that your customers can interact with, changing the live previews with every interaction. So, for example, this is a sweatshirt product that can be customizable, and Customily will allow you to preview your customization live on the space of the listing photo, and you will have the options here, and you can interact with those options. So, for example, uh, text typing will be one option. For example, like you see, it's live changing as we type. Also, we can change fonts. We can select different clip arts, upload our own photos. There's a lot of things you can do with Customily, and you will see the live version of your customization in the live preview, as well as when you change your, in this particular case, we have variants for colors, and you can see how your finished product, the selected variant you want, will show with the different customization. Not only that, Customily will give you this preview, like we said, but also once you check out, the system will create the ready-to-print file. So your customer gets to preview what they're customizing. They get to customize live before they purchase, and once they do the purchase, you as a merchant will get that preview, but at the same time, you will get the ready-to-print file. So it's going to save you a lot of time on fulfillments. Now think about how you would do this before Customily. You will need to create a lot of images in your listing, a lot of examples and explanations on how you need to customize something. You will need to put in notes section in which your customers will type in whatever notes they want. They will type the custom text. They will type in whatever choice you have. So imagine how complex a customization can get, and how many information you need to provide the customer, and they need to type in before they can send the request, and you need to grab that information and create a proof, send that proof for approval, get the observations back, then go back and forth until you reach the final design, and then you can produce the print file and fulfill. And Customily is saving you all that time by giving you, the merchant, the tools to create your designs, giving the customers the tools to customize live and see how it's going to look in the end. And also it's grabbing that information and creating the print file. So all that process has been condensed and saved in a lot of time using Customily. Now this preview is done by loading a template on the page, as well as the options, and the group of options is called option set. So these two elements, the template and the option set, are created in Customily. So if you follow the steps of creating a template from scratch, you'll be able to create the options automatically, and you'll be able to connect both elements to any existing product. So it's as simple as that. If you have this product already working in your store and you want to make it customizable live, you can go to Customily, create the template, and link it to the product, so the template will load on the front end. Another example is this product. This is a product from my store that I have decided to make it so that Customily can load a template here, and you can preview your initials like that. In fact, I added free fonts so I can see how the fonts change. And also I added a color library so I can see how the thread color will change depending on my choices. This is all done by Customily. And at the same time, once I purchase, this print file of the free letters will be generated as well for you to fulfill. So I could basically unlink the template and the options, and this will become my embroidered scarf standard listing, or I can make it customizable live with Customily. This that I just mentioned is the best way to make any existing product customizable. But what if I want to start with new products? We developed Customily 2.0 with that particular objective. So what is this Customily 2.0? This is our latest update for Etsy stores and Shopify stores. And this allows you to create and publish personalized products easier, faster, and better than before. Those starting your stores from scratch will have more interest in this section because now you can create your own products directly in Customily, make them listings on your store, or even better, you can choose a product directly from a print on demand supplier. You can add a design to those products and get them published in your store, all from the Customily app. And also, with the print on demand services that have an API connection, all the fulfillment processes will be automated. So this means that once you receive a purchase, all the order details and the ready to print file will be sent to the corresponding POD provider automatically for fulfillment and shipping. So Customily is now adding an extra step, saving you manual time in the fulfillment process as well. So your customers will be able to customize and preview live. You will get the print file, and at the same time, Customily can send that print file to the print on demand provider automatically. So, one more thing about Customily 2.0 that is meant for you to start from somewhere is that we have now free access for you to the Customily's design libraries. So this means that you can find designs ready to use and sell, or you can use the exclusive Clipart collections to create your own art. So if I were to say, how do we start with Customily? You will ask yourself a few questions before you begin. First of all, you need to ask yourself, will you be selling your existing products but using Customily now for the live preview, or you will creating new products? That will take you to the template part directly, or it will take you to the Customily 2.0 part. And in here, you will ask yourself, am I going to be fulfilling with a print-on-demand provider, or I have my own workshop, or another provider outside of the known ones? Also, am I going to be using Customily designs to get started with something, or am I going to be creating my own designs and I have my cliparts and my own ideas? So based on those questions and your answers, you should pick the best way to go when you reach Customily. For example, you can work with a print-on-demand provider who has its own product catalog and add a design from Customily's library to it. This will be the fastest path and the one that allows you to have a published product ready to sell in minutes. You can also work with a print-on-demand provider, but choose to add your own designs to their products. In this case, you will have to populate your design library before you're able to publish the products in your store. On the other hand, if you have your own products and you're not interested in working with a print-on-demand provider, the way to go is to start by populating your product-based library first. So after you have your own product mockups, you can choose to add a design from the Customily's library to them and create and publish the product really fast. Or you can, of course, add your own designs to your own products. And this is the path that will take a bit more of time. But once you have all your product mockups and all your designs ready, you will only have to do a mix and match process and create those products that you want to do. So now that we have a clear idea of the different ways you can use Customily depending on your particular case, we're going to create some products together. Okay, well, let's start from the beginning. Let's say I'm a store owner. I want to start selling personalized products and I just install Customily to try it out. I will land in the main menu of Customily and I will be received by an onboarding. This onboarding will ask you the same questions I just told you. It will try to know what you're going to be selling, how will you fulfill, do you have products already, do you have designs already, and based on your answers, it will guide you through the best path you can take in Customily to get started. So make sure you follow the checklist and you start off with something. And at the end, you will be here in the main page. This is the start section. Okay, and here on the left menu you will see other sections. Like I said, the first three sections are those shortcuts to Customily 2.0 tools. Basically, you start off in the main area in which you can create new products. That's the idea. And at the same time, you have shortcuts here and these two sections, which is to manage your own designs and your product bases. So when you're not working with print-on-demand providers, you will create your product bases. And if you don't like or you don't want to use Customily designs, you can create your own designs here. These sections will be later available for you to create on your store any product that you need. Now, the next three sections are the main core of Customily. So always, in the front end, a template will be loaded. So even if you create templates or you create combinations in Customily 2.0, the end result is a template. So in this section, you can create, manage, and organize all your templates. Then you can upload and organize your assets in different libraries. For example, color libraries, font libraries, vectors, and images. And you can manage and you can see all your store products here in the store section. You can see which products are linked to Customily, which ones you can link, unlink, modify, adjust. All the product management is done here, as well as all the front end management as well. So you can change many settings that will help you customize the front end experience of your customers. The final section is the orders section. And when people start to purchase items that are using Customily and they are customizing with Customily, you will get those orders and that information will be sent obviously to your e-commerce platform, and at the same time they will show here where you can have a backup, you can do adjustments to the print file if you need so, and you can review what the customer purchased. So this is a great way to have a backup and review what your customers are customizing or purchasing in your store. Now, very important, Customily can integrate to any e-commerce platform, not only Etsy or Shopify. We can integrate to WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Magento, Wix, Walmart. Depending on your platform, some tools will or not will be available. 2.0 tools are available for Etsy and Shopify, and they are exactly the same on the whole process you will see today, but the end result and the customization part will change a bit. Like we saw here in the examples of my store, this is a Shopify store, and you can preview the customization before you purchase. In the case of Etsy, it will be the other way around. You will have an Etsy listing and you can provide a lot of information on how Customily works. And after the customer purchases, they will get an email in which they can access a URL and they can preview the customization and submit that to complete the order. So aside from that, it's the same interface, and you can follow this both on any Shopify account or Etsy account. Because today we're going to be creating this sweatshirt that is going to be taken from Printful. And also we're going to create a template from scratch and connect that to our embroidered scarf in our main store. So you're going to be able to see both ways to go, a way with Customily 2.0 and a way with the Customily standard tools that they run across any e-commerce platform. Very important, because we're going to be looking into a Printful product. Once I go to the start section and I click on create new product, which is basically what I want to do, I get to see this. This is the print-on-demand providers that we have integrated so far. Also, our own product-based collection. But here I can pick any of this and I can start looking for those products, pick one and put a design into that to create my own listing. For that, it's very important to see that some of them have automatic fulfillment indicated below. This means that these print-on-demand providers have API keys. So if you have an account with them and you check your account in their websites and apps, you will find your API key and you can put that in Customily for full integration and automatic fulfillment. You can always create products using them, but the automatic fulfillment will work with the API key integrated. So let me show you how you can do that. By going to the settings section here, you will find the integrations tab. And in here you have a drop down with all the print-on-demand providers we have right now. So right now I am already integrated with Printful and Printify, but if I were to integrate with Custom Cut, for example, I can pick this from the drop-down menu, click on Enable Integration, and I will see the Custom Cut area here ready to go. So I need to put my API key. Where do I find that? There's a link here for a Help Center article that will show you the different ways to retrieve your API key on your print-on-demand provider. We have Printful, Printify, Shinon, Gelato, and Custom Cut in this case. So if I follow these very clear and graphic instructions of where to find the API key, I can copy that, paste it in this field. The key will be validated, and I have to just click on Save Settings. It's going to turn green, and that's it. I am already integrated to Custom Cut as well. Then I can go back to the Start section, and I can create a new product. So I'm going to click on Printful, and once you get the catalog, you can browse through the different pages, or you can search, for example, sweatshirt, like that. Okay, so this is the sweatshirt that I want to sell, so I'm going to pick this. And here I can see the available providers and the available variants. For example, I'm going to be working on lighter colors, so I believe that carbon was actually a lighter color, dusty forest, navy no, and team white. So these are the 5 colors I want to use, and all these sizes. Yeah, and I want this to be printed in front, and then I want to click next, and here I can pick from my designs or from the Customily designs. So if I were to pick a Customily design, I will see that I have over 200 designs to pick from, and depending on the category and theme related design I want to go for, or whatever product I want to sell. For example, now we're going into Halloween, so there's a lot of Halloween designs, and later you have Christmas, so there's a Christmas category. Also, when it comes fall season, and characters, fathers, daughters, pets in any kind. So there's a lot of things you can explore here, and once you click on one of these, a new listing will be created with this design. So that will become available for you to use the backgrounds, use the character, use the dogs and the cats. This will be free for you to create your own ideas as well. But we are actually going to create a new design because, well, we came up with this interesting idea and we wanted to, let's say you have this inspiration, you want to create something. It can be as simple as typing your name and having the version word below. Just as simple as that. But if you know that's exactly what your niche wants and your market research wants, you can create that really fast in Customity and still sell the sweatshirt from Printful and fulfill with Printful. But your design idea is what you want to push. So you come to the My Designs section and you create a new design. We're going to call this this is going to be the live session, my version, like that. Okay, and if you know what you're going to be creating, which is why I highly recommend, is that you come to Customity with a clear idea of what you need. You need to know which parts are fixed, which parts are customizable, and you will get a design studio in which you can put together everything you have. Customity helps you put together all your graphics and ideas. It's not a graphic editor, but a graphic organizer. So you can upload whatever images you want in no limit at all, and add a lot of other fields to help you get the best customization process in here. So for example, my idea is to create this two-line text, but I want one text to be fixed. So I can create a text box, and this text box is a space for my customers to type in their own text, whatever content they want. We have other tools, for example, curved text is the same concept. Image and vector placeholders. Placeholders are identifiable by one single icon here, and these are objects that allow you to allows your customers to upload their own images. So when you want to create a design that involves custom photo collage or stuff, and your customers can upload their images from their cell phone, you use placeholders and you put them together in your particular design. Also, when you want to offer the street map customization, this is the tool for that. So customers can input their own locations, coordinates, like that. Same goes with star maps, but this is for constellations. And we have dynamic elements. Dynamic images or vectors will have 4 small icons that tells you and reminds you that this is an object meant for you as a merchant to upload one or many graphics. So if you have a background, you can create a dynamic image and you can upload your background to be something fixed. If you have 20 different backgrounds, you can upload all 20 into the same object, and that will, once you have 2 or more options inside, your customers will get that choice. And that's how you create interaction. But we're going to do that with something else, because we created a text box and we want this text box to actually have a larger size. So I'm going for this and this, and I can I can stretch or move this around, or I can go to the transform tab and be more specific on what I want to do. For example, let's round this up like this. And then I can just click here on the alignment tools to center this, for example. Now, this is how I put together a text, and I can click here on the type or try the text box, and I can type in version. So one thing I want to be able to show is version. And this is just for testing, so it will never stay. We need to change that later. Now, once we have the idea of the size of what we want, we need to go to the character section, and we need to be able to select how many fonts we want to offer, what's the size of the font. So for example, by default, we have the Arial font, but I can pick and upload from my computer different fonts, okay? And they will upload here in the plus. I already uploaded, so now I can find them here in my database. So I'm going for, what was the name? I uploaded 2 fonts. One's called the permanent marker and the other one is called the I'm Fell. So I'm going to find them here. P for permanent marker. There you go. This is the font saved in option 1. And let's make it bigger. Let's say I can go to and say as how big I wanted the text. If I were to type, I don't know, 1000, I will see that actually I can go as big as the box, and the box is 996. Okay, let's go for 500 points. Yeah, like that. So this is my first choice of font. If I want to keep this font unique, I'm going to leave it like that. But if I want to add another one, I can choose the second option and I can find another one. And this will be saved into option 2. So now I have 1 and 2 font options. Because I have 2 or more options, Customily will understand this is a choice for your customers and will create all the different choices automatically. In this case, I want to have this all caps, okay, because this is a fixed text. And I want to align this to the top vertical, and you're going to see why. Very important, this is a fixed text, so there's no problem in the shape. However, if I am trying to type more and more and more, you see I will reach the end of the box and I will start to go small and small and small. How small can I go? Well, this is too small. It's not going to print or look nice. So I can limit how many characters I can fit on my box by using the minimum size. Maximum size will set the biggest possible size of printing, and the minimum will set, well, basically the minimum available size. So now you see I am able to type only up until this, not more than this. It's a great way to limit the how things will print and how small things can eventually show. And because customers may keep typing, and that's how you limit that. When you set limits, customers will need to adjust and they will customize faster and avoid you having to fix stuff manually later, which will take you a lot of time. So this will be my first text. I'm going to open the layers here and I'm going to rename this as version. This will be a fixed text. We're going to do that later. And I'm going to use the same size, the same box, everything, but on a different text elements. So I can click the Control C or Command C and Command B for pasting. So Command plus C for copying and pasting, or well, Control C for copying, B for painting. Sorry about that. I actually pasted twice, so there you go. We have a new text element. This is text number 2. We have 1 is version, 2 will be type your name. I always try to name this exactly the way I want this on my front end here. Your name, type your name, stuff like that. And then I'm going to arrange this a bit different because this will be one next to the other, but I need to make sure everything is working correctly. So let me open character. Well, I may remove the all caps in this case and make sure this is bottom so they are kind of stick together. Now be careful and take advantage of the testing part, because when you are having two texts very close, what happens is if you have J, G, or Y, they may drop so low that this will happen. So you need to be careful to have them separated in a nice way. Still, remember this will change also. You see, you need to make sure you test everything with the fonts so you're certain what you're doing. So after we have this, we can grab these two together. We can align them together like that. Okay, and also we can align to the workspace, center this on the middle and on the top. Pretty much this is all we need. This is our design. See, we're going later to input the text here, and this will always say version, don't worry. But it's very important that we have the font options and we have the size options, so nothing will be altered later. Our design is ready. Let's save it. Done. You will see your design at the last page, or you can click here on the modify part. Okay, on the last page, you will see this live session, my version design. And you can edit again, but also Customily has created the options already, so you can check the options. Options are basically the part in which your customers interact with the customization. And this is the option set, may not say much, but you can set preview options and you can see what's looking right now. So first choice is version, is this one. But the thing about version is we don't want this to show, so we need to find a checkbox that says hide the option. But at the same time, we want this version to word to show by default. So we can copy this and put it on the initial value. This means that whenever you load the options, this text will show on the customization automatically. And it will show all caps in the right font, etc. And then you can pick the font. You can pick fonts separated or you can pick fonts together in the same selection. In this case, because we want to pick both text fonts in one choice only, I'm going to find this version font and I'm going to just delete that because we're going to use this in here. So now that we have two choices, we have the version text input that is hidden and it's always showing the version word. And then we have type your name. Type your name, we can actually set a suggestion because people may want to type whatever they want. But if we suggest something, this was going to be the placeholder. It's not showing at the beginning, it's just a suggestion. Like that. So this is a suggestion that shows in gray. And type your name font is the one we want to change next. Why? Because we want to slightly customize this to look nicer. So I'm clicking on the pencil here, I'm opening this, and well, the label should change to select font. That's better. And if we scroll down, we see other options available, including these two swatches. This text font one is this swatch, and we want to change this to, for example, what was this? The permanent marker. There's one name of the font. This name will show up in the tooltip. You see text font one will change to the tooltip, so it looks nicer. And the other one, we can call this the, I don't know what kind of font is this because it was not a nice name. Call this the standard or folklore. Okay. Thank you, Morena. Right. So we have these two choices now, and very important. Right now, this font selector is changing. What is changing? If I open the Customily functions area here, you see right now these two choices are changing the type of font of the text number 2. Remember, text number 2 is the top one, is the says type your name. But I also want to add another function, which is to change the font type of text number 1. Text number 1 is version. And with this small change in my options, I am able to change the font of two text elements with just one single swatch. With that adjustment, I can save my options. And now those options will be staying with the design for all the products that I want to create. If I want to use this design on a sweatshirt, t-shirt, blanket, or hoodie or whatever, I will have the same structure and the same options for all of them. And now I can go to the start point and create my new product from Printful. And let's search for that. Check my internet. Yeah, great. Sweatshirt is the one I want to use. The colors I wanted to use was carbon gray, dusty forest, white, and all the sizes. Print on the front, and next. Remember, we followed this same path, but we chose to add customity designs. Now we're going to add your designs, and on the last page, you'll be able to find, in your case here, the live version, my design. Once I click on the design, Customity will start working. It's going to create a new listing on my store, whether Etsy or Shopify. It's going to connect to Printful through the API key, and it's going to bring the information of the product. That means the sweatshirt colors, the mockup, the print area, everything. And it's going to put my design on that print area and on that mockup. And you will get this preview. Basically, you'll see that we have different colors: carbon gray, dusty rose, forest green. So all these images were picked from the print-on-demand provider, and I can preview my design on them. So I am going to pick, size will not change on the preview, but let's go with this. And there's my type your name suggestion. This is the font selector. You see the tooltips, and I'm going to pick this and type something and see how the live preview will change. And if I click on the fonts, I will see the fonts change as well. And if I like this image, I'm going to save this to be my new listing photo on my listing. Not only that, before we leave this section, I can go to edit product details to change the name and check out the prices. This is very important because this is the standard name of the product, and you may want to change that to make sure you identify that in your store. So I'm going to change this to live session, my version sweatshirt. You can change this later on Etsy or Shopify, but this is a really nice shortcut. You can change the description, and you have here all the variants with the different sizes and prices. You can change this as well, any way you want. I'm going to save this so I have my new product like that, and I'm ready to publish this. Once I publish, this product will go live and show on my store like this. I have my listing photo, I have all my different variants, and I have my customity options here. And I can also change the font of both texts at the same time. That's how you put together a product from a print-on-demand provider and use your own design, which can be really simple, because remember, it's just your idea. It's important that you have an idea and you know how to put it together in Customity. It doesn't have to be complex, it can be simple, but it's what you know is going to work later for your customers. So let's talk about the other product. Now, the other product, you see this product, I already created a template and the options so I can show you how it works. But if we go to Customity, remember there are some tools here to navigate and see the core elements. For example, if I go to templates and I look for the last modified templates here, I will see that the last template created is the unisex sweatshirt with the My Version design. This is the template created automatically by Customity, loading on my product. I can edit, rename, do whatever I want with this. But at the same time, I can create new templates. Not only that, if I go to my store section and I will go to products here, or here is the same, I want to sync up to get the last information from Shopify, okay? And if I were to find this version, right? You see, live version, my version, live session, my version sweatshirt. This is the new product created from my last operation. I open this and I will see the listing photo. I will see the new template that is connected here and the options created that is also working. This is how you link or unlink products in Customity. This has been done automatically. In fact, if you open the product variants area here, you will see that for the color, Customily automatically created a series of images that are loading depending on the color choice. So this is all done automatically, but you can still look at it and you can still learn how it was created or make changes if you want. Now I'm going to find the scarf and I will see this is the custom initials embroidered scarf. Imagine for a second that I don't have Customily linked to this product. I'm going to click on the X and not delete, just remove these items, save it. And now this is, let me refresh this. This is a common listing that I have on my store. I can add to cart, buy now, share, whatever, but I see this image and nothing more. So let's say I want this to be customizable now. So what do I need? I need the image of the model with the scarf without any customization, so empty space here. I need the font, and I need the size of the print area of this. So if I know, for example, this print area is 10 by 5 centimeters, I know how many color threads I have and I can offer. I could actually create a color library or set the colors one by one. And if I have the fonts also, I can upload them to Customily. And that way I can put together the print part and also the preview part. And the way to do that is by creating a template. So I'm going back to Customily. I'm going back to templates, and I'm going to create a new template. When we start off with a new template, I need to set this to be the live session custom scarf. Yeah, live session. And I start off by inputting the print area of the customizable part, right? Not the scarf. The scarf is one thing, but later our machine will say, okay, I need 10 by 5 PDF files that I can process and send for printing, embroidering, etc. So what I need to create in the first part of my template is the print part. So I'm going to put 100 by 50 and create my page. This is my print area. And you see, we are in the first step of the production file settings, meaning that I am going to set up what's going to be printing, not what's going to be showing on the front end, just printing. So what do I want to print? I actually want to print a text input. So customers can input their own text. Not only just any text, just my initials, for example. So I'm going to stretch this until I reach the edge, or I can go to transform and I can type in. I'm going to be as big as the area right now. Oh, oops. And I'm also going to align this center like that. So this is my print area and my box for text inputting. Very important. I'm going to pick the fonts because remember, after we transform, we go to character and we are going to set some fonts. So I come here and I upload my fonts. In this case, I already uploaded Home Outline, Home Sweet Home Regular, and the Needlework. Perfect. So you will have these fonts later, so you can practice, but I have them here. And I'm going to offer, the first one I want to offer is the Home Regular. So that's option 1. Then I want to jump to option 2 and select outline. That's the second option. And then I want to go to option number 3 and I want to offer the needle point. Perfect. Like that. Also, I want all caps. Yeah, that's what I want in this particular product. And let's check the maximum sizes. Right now, if I always try to type something really big, so I just can see the limits. Limits are 120. That's what the box is allowing me to do. So I'm going to put 120, and because I'm going to be typing just 3 letters, I'm going to set my minimum size to 150 as well. That means that I will never shrink when I type in letters. So ABC will look nice, and JHY will not look. Why is this happening? Because the same way as we have some characters that are bigger in the width. So turns out we cannot have the minimum and the maximum to be the same. We actually need to go smaller in order to fit some characters and keep things in the free character limitation. I always recommend working with uh, very, very will those characters that have the biggest width and start to reduce them in this case. So H is fitting perfectly, and to be honest, the W is the most complex one. So you can go down, down, down until you are able to fit three W's, which will be your limit, like that. So 78 seems to be the limit. Let's put 70 just we to cover ourselves, and that's it. Don't worry because it's not that they're going to be that small. It's that you see ABC will look nicer, but if by any chance you want this, then you will jump to 105 and so on, so on. So this is a great area for you to test out the worst case scenarios. And to be honest, this will be the best case scenario. So you want to check the minimum size to that. So you're always able to fit free characters. Finally, the export format. If we know this from our manufacturer, we can set this up. Customily allows to export on multiple files, both vector, embroidering, and image. In this case, let's say that we can actually use PDF CMYK for exporting and printing. But the machine will only read black. So in the color, we need to make sure this is black. No worries because later on the machine you can put the thread you want to use. But on the print part, it has to read black. So once we set up the production file settings, we're ready to jump to the next stage, which is grabbing this design and putting that on the mockup. If you have a simple mockup, you can start with a background image. If you have multiple colors, for example, you may want to start with a background color and then add the images in a dynamic image. But today we only have one background, so the background is the scarf. This is the sample, the base, and the listing. The base is the one we want to use. Why? Because it doesn't have any customization. And you see, I have this text one element. We're going to change this to type your initials. And we can resize this to put it on the right position for mockup purposes and preview purposes, like that. In fact, let me just type this some example. In fact, one thing we can do also here in the transform part, we have skew tools. Skew tools will allow you to have a slight effect of perspective or inclination. So you see this now may look a bit more like the real stuff. It's a slight deformation that will give you more realism. And on the preview part, you can change the colors. You can preview different colors. Why? Because you can print in the colors and preview on the same colors, or you can print on a specific color depending on your machine and still preview many colors because previews can behave differently. So in this case, I decided to go and pick from one of the libraries I already had before. I have a lot of libraries, but I'm going to go for print colors to say this. And I have a lot of colors here. I can start browsing them and see how they perform. Later, what I can do is just pick one color to be the default color because I may not want to start with the teal, but there's a lot of colors available and we can have, okay, black will be one choice, white the other, and so on. Another thing we can do is add a texture to the preview. This is very nice when you are embroidering or engraving because you can add metal textures and embroidery is extra thin or thick, for example, and this will add a texture. It doesn't look much in this font, but in this font it may look better. I can see embroidery thin or medium. It adds some sort of effect to the embroidery. In other fonts, they will look far better, but right now the idea is to give a slight realism and make sure it looks as close to the reality as possible. So once we have our background image, our customization design already reshaped and adjusted for the image, and we have the colors in this case or whatever, we can click next because we are in the preview settings, step 2. And the final step is the revision part. Step 3, the review. And here you can understand how templates work. You can see a preview of something, and whatever you type will reflect on the preview and on the print with the specific settings on each side. So they share information. They just don't need to have the exact same size, position, deformation effect, or even colors. That's the great part of the Customily template. So you are grabbing information and presenting that really nice, but that information will replicate on exactly what you need printed. So I'm going to save this. And once I save a template, I get the chance to jump straight to my store section. In this case, I have Shopify, but it could also be any other e-commerce platform. In here, I can still look for my products. I can filter by those products that are not linked to Customily and find the custom initials embroidery scarf. This is my regular listing, and I can choose the template. Find that on the last page. Yep, here. And by default, Customily can create the options for you. This is very interesting because once you create the options, remember you have multiple fonts and you have multiple colors, and Customily will put all those choices together in nice looking swatches. So you will have the chance, you don't have to do any of that manual. You can save now this with the template you created and the options you created. And if we click here, you'll be able to see what options were created. Okay, you see type your initials is a text input, then there's a font selection and a color selection. And we can preview them and see this was done by Customily really fast. Very important, type your initials. We can click on the pencil to open that, and we can actually set a couple of limitations. For example, maximum length or number of characters, 3. So we limit that. Also, we can restrict the input to only letters with no spaces. That way, you will always need to type 3 letters, at most 3 letters. Another thing we can customize is type your initials. Okay, in the font here, this label should look nicer. Select font, and we can rename this. Remember, as we did before, this will be the home outline. The other will be the home full, and the other will be the needle point. Say something. And in the color section, because I had this library created already, you see all my colors have already a tooltip name. So if I click on this pencil, I will open the color swatch and I will see all my colors here. What can I do with this, which is really handy, is instead of starting from the light teal by default, we can pick another color like dark blue. So let me find dark blue, open the dark blue, see we have the code here. And if I pick selected checkbox by default, this is the color selected when we start typing. So the customization will start here and you can then customize with any color, but the preview will be done here. Once we have this set up, we can save the option set. You see that these are small. In fact, I forgot something. This select thread color. That's better. Yeah. And that's how you slightly change some details, but make sure the front end looks really amazing and comfortable for your customers. So once we save the option set and we have the template and everything is ready to go, we can click on the eye icon to preview this again. Or preview this on the store, or if I have this already open, I will going to just refresh. Now Customily loads. Customily has options in our front end, and we can type whatever we want and see the standard font and the standard color we set. Changing the font will show the color better. Changing the color will preview. You see now on the lighter colors, you can see the effect of the embroidery. Like that and that. And that's how you turn a simple product into a live customizable product. By having the right information from the beginning and creating the template in Customily. Okay, well, before I let you go, I want you to know that you have earned tickets from being here today. So congratulations on that. Keep adding up and collecting tickets for the September challenge. We hope to see a lot more of your creations as well. And if you have any questions after the live session, remember we have a great support team, and you can contact them at support@customily.com. You can open a live chat in the app. Live chat is open on office hours EST. And also join our Facebook communities, not only because it will earn you tickets, but also because there's a great exchange of information, ideas, people helping out. So it's really great to participate and see what others are creating or coming up with about Customily. And well, that's all for today. I really thank you all for joining today and for practicing with our live sessions. We will see you next week with more ideas. So have a great weekend and see you soon.